Today on Tom Gresham's Gun Talk. Tom is live from Gunsite Academy in Arizona. He's talking with Gunsite trainers about the importance of continuous training and sharpening your skill set. Plus, new rifles from Daniel Defense, the latest news, and more. And as always, call us at 866-TALK-GUN with your comments, questions, and range reports. And now, here's Tom.
Well, hello and welcome again. Tom Gresham here. It's Gun Talk. I am at my happy place. Yes, indeed. We are remote today from Arizona. We're at Gunsite, the Harvard, the granddaddy of the gunfighting schools. Of course, the place that Colonel Jeff Cooper built. We'll be talking with some of the folks from Gunsite as we go through. If you'd like to be a part of that, all you have to do is call us, 866-TALK-GUN, or just call Tom Talk Gun. We're going to be talking about gunfighting. We're going to be talking about shooting, how to shoot better, how to fight better, how to carry. When you should carry, well, let's see. Is there any time you shouldn't carry? Maybe when you're sleeping. That'd be about the only time I can think of. And maybe even then. Who knows? Depends on, like the guy says, I know I'm paranoid. I just don't know if I'm paranoid enough. So there you go. We're going to have a bunch of fun today. We're also going to be talking about this incredible lawsuit, this case out of California where a judge has ruled their ban on standard capacity magazines to be unconstitutional. That's huge. I expect it to be appealed, but we're going to be talking with the lead attorneys on that case. We'll be talking about a new rifle that you want to know about, as well as the Well-Armed Women program. We have a whole bunch of stuff going on. But as always, of course, you can be a part of this. Just give me a call with your range reports, your questions, your comments, or if I've said something that you thought, well, that's just wrong, well, call me. You're probably right. 866-TALK Gun. Like I said, we're at Gunsite. We're in Paulden, Arizona. Joining me right now is the, Chief Operating Officer. How'd I do there?
You did good.
Ken Campbell joins us right now. And for those who don't know, Ken, you've been here before, but you got an extensive background in law enforcement, SWAT team leader, a lot of other things, sheriff. And then, of course, now you've been here how long?
Oh, gosh. I came out here for my 250 class in 1990. I was a young dark-haired deputy, and I came on the part-time staff, adjunct instructors, in about 1993.
Right.
And then as I was getting ready to retire, I had 13 months left on my last term as sheriff. Buzz Mills, the great owner of Gunsite, approached me about what I was going to do when I grow up. And
you said, do I have to?
And I said, well, I hope you let me teach some more. And he said, well, let's talk about that. So I've been out here as the COO. My wife and I came out here about 4.5 years ago and haven't looked back.
Wow, 4 years now. Time flies when you're having fun.
It does.
How has it changed since you got here?
Well, we've got a great team of people here. Ronald Reagan said you surround yourself with good people that you trust and you empower them to act.
Right.
And we have a tremendous team, administrative staff team here, and that helps drive our business on forward. So we've seen that. Well, shoot, for those old-time Gunsite folks, we paved the road.
Oh, God, that's right. Anybody who's driven the road coming in from Paulden understands what we're talking about. It was
a goat path.
It was a rental car destroyer is what it was.
Well, we tried getting some of the rental car companies to help offset the cost of us putting those grindings down, just what they saved on alignments and cleaning, but they didn't respond back. But the road's a nice thing, but we continue on with the great 250 pistol and various levels of pistol, carbine, shotgun, rifle, and so on. But we've also added several classes.
Okay.
Based on real world. We have a church defense class that's a week long.
Oh, and of course, that's coming straight out of the news. What's been going on? Okay.
Absolutely. We started working on that a couple years ago because it takes a little bit to put together a really good program, and it took us about a year.
Do church groups come in and train as teams?
Yes. We were seeing folks come in and take 250 pistol, and then we'd get to talk with them, and they'd say they were part of a church security detail.
Right.
So now we're getting, whether it's a team coming in or whether it's 2 or 3 people that are the key people in their team coming in, and they're sharing their plans and so on, as well as getting the great training.
What's the critical thing for somebody to know if they're thinking about putting together a church security team?
Do your research. Find out what's out there. Don't reinvent the wheel.
Sure. Why start from scratch when other people have already done it?
Absolutely. And churches are very good about sharing this information. Everything from the little bitty churches to the mega churches. Mm-hmm. So you start gathering that information so you can put your team together, find out who you want on your team, and sometimes what's really, I think, more important, who you don't want on your team.
Why is that?
Well, there's some folks that are a little excitable.
You got the Rambo types?
Well, they don't want to follow that direction. They want to go direct to threat. And if you've got a team of people, you've got an assignment, Jane Ann's got an assignment, I've got one, and we've got to make sure we stay on that mission orient.
It's like, I'm thinking about March Madness right now. If your entire 5 players all collapse on the guy with the ball, that feels really good individually, but now you've just left 4 people undefended.
Absolutely. Okay. So you got to make sure you got people who are willing to be team players. You don't want people. It's sort of like back in my old SWAT team days. The saying was, if you're being held hostage, what do you want to see on that SWAT team member that comes through the door in the rescue? A little bit of gray hair. Because it's got some wisdom, knowledge, and experience, you'd hope, with that. So it's not just having somebody that's a great shot or a good guy or a good gal. You want people that are thinkers, that can understand and will follow those directions, but also can think on their feet.
And also, it requires, I'm sure, coordination with your local law enforcement agencies.
Absolutely. It's not just putting this team together. You want to work with your local law enforcement, and I think I can speak for the majority of them. They would like to work with you. They would like to know what your plans are, and they would like to let you know how is the best way for them to hook up. When they come in, what can you expect them to be doing, and what can you do to follow those directives in that confusing situation?
And I don't know this. I'm just an image just popped into my head. I'm thinking about like when you have an emergency or you have a fire or you have somebody go down with a medical emergency, it's a good idea to send somebody out to meet the EMT guys. In this case, it might not be a bad idea to have one of your team members that goes out and meets the police when they come in.
It's a major plan.
Okay.
It really is. It's a disaster plan that you got to have in place, and that plan can work with, depending on your area of the country, earthquake, tornadoes, as you say, a medical emergency,
right.
Fire, or an active shooter.
Interesting. Okay. So, all right. So you got church groups. What else has changed? Who's new? Who's waking up to the idea of taking care of themselves these days?
Our ladies' classes continue to evolve. We've had ladies-only classes here for many, many years.
Yeah, this is really not new for you guys.
It is not, but I think it's either April or May, we have a ladies' pistol course, and I think there's 21 enrolled in that. That's a big number coming in, and one later this year the same way. So we're seeing more ladies. We're also seeing more people that might be of a more liberal mindset.
That's interesting.
They're recognizing that the world may not be the safe place they once thought it was, and they have realized they need to learn how to protect themselves and their family.
Good on them.
Absolutely, and maybe we can convert some of them into understanding.
But you don't convert people by calling them names and denigrating them. You just keep talking and say, have you considered this?
Yes.
Here's something else you may want to consider. And eventually, some people go, I created this acronym. I call it NTOT. I never thought of that. And, they go, oh, yeah.
Talk with them politely in a professional manner, on a factual basis. And they may never be as strong as you and I are in our beliefs, but if we can waver them just a little bit, that's positive.
Well, it's positive for them on the personal security level, but on the political level, one of the things it does is it changes the idea of gun people in their minds from those people to us people.
Right. We all put our pants on the same way.
That's huge. And then when they come here, they go, wow, everybody here is carrying a gun. Yeah. I mean, everybody who works here is carrying a gun. And all the guns are loaded all the time. And it's one of the safest places you'll ever be.
Gunsite is one of the safest places on earth.
I tell people, when we come here with our video crews, and sometimes we get our first-time video guys, they say, do we need to lock the car? I says, no, you're at Gunsite. Well, we got all this camera equipment. I understand. You're at Gunsite. Don't worry about it. Yeah. It's not going to be an issue. It really isn't.
It's hard to explain to people the aura of Gunsite and what we do, and we'll have people come visit, and they realize we're a shooting range, but they don't understand we're 3,200 acres with 26 ranges and live fire shoot houses and multiple outdoor simulators, and we're so active and so much going on. I kind of relate it to, you're in Arizona, you need to go visit the Grand Canyon. Oh, I've seen it on TV, or I've seen it on the IMAX theater.
Right.
And then you step up there that first time and see God's grandeur of all the Grand Canyon.
I had no idea.
Well, when they come here, they think, well, I'm going to take a shooting class.
Right.
And as the week progresses, they realize, I had no idea.
That's it. They had no idea, and then they get that gun-sight epiphany. And about 2 to 3 days in, and they go, oh, okay, I start to get this. Yeah. And I tell people, I honestly have told them for many, many, many years, look, when you take your first sight at Gunsite, you will end the 5-day class as a different person. And people say, yeah, that's a silly thing to say, you know. And
they don't know what they don't know.
They don't know. And then later on, I asked people, I said, are you a different person now? Oh, yes, absolutely. I'm not the same person I was on Monday morning when I started the class.
Tomorrow morning, we've got 2 250 pistol classes.
That's the introductory pistol class.
That's our level 1, a 5-day course, about 46 hours. So I'll have 42 or 3 people in that classroom. And when I come in to greet them tomorrow morning, I'll say, now, who's not been here before? And several will raise their hands, and I'll say, you'll be back. And they look at me like they're 14 and I'm their father giving them advice, right? But come Friday, I step back up there at graduation and say, remember I said you'll be back? Mm-hmm. I know how many of you have already enrolled in your next class.
Right.
I can tell in our records.
There it is.
And that's what it is, and that's huge.
It is. Ken, hold on a second here. We'll take a quick break. We're talking with Ken Campbell from Gunsite. Check it out, GUNSITE.com. If you have a question, by all means, give us a holler. We'll get you in there. We'll talk about gunfighting, selection of guns, selection of holsters, and pretty much anything else. I'm Tom Gresham. This is Gun Talk.
Are you tired of leather holsters not holding up to everyday carry, or having boxes of holsters for every gun? Try a holster from 1791 Gun Leather, offering multi-fit IWB and OWB options. Every holster is handcrafted from full grain, American heavy native steer hide. Order now and enjoy unmatched quality, versatility, and that pleasant leather aroma. Go to 1791gunleather.com for an affordable, distinctive holster that'll last a lifetime.
Hi, this is Ryan Gresham from Gun Talk. If you like guns, you need to enter our biggest giveaway ever at guntalk.com/win. One person will win more than $11,000 in guns, gear, and accessories to stuff your safe or hit the range. The grand prize includes a night vision scope and rangefinder from ATN, a custom 1911 from Auto Ordnance, a Crossbreed Holsters concealed carry pack, an FN 509 tactical pistol, the ultimate gun safe organizer pack from Gun Storage Solutions, a custom Glock 22 from Lone Wolf Distributors, clothing, range bags, and more from Proper, Remington's 870 DM and TAC 14, plus 2 cases of buckshot, Stag Arms Stag 15 tactical rifle, Tandem Cross rimfire customization kits, a Ruger Mark IV pistol, and much, much more. Go to guntalk.com/win to enter. That's guntalk.com/win.
Tired of searching the web for the best deals on guns, ammunition, and gear? Download the free Gun Dealio app today for deals and discounts right at your fingertips. Handguns, rifles, shotguns, ammo, optics, lasers, gun safes, targets, gun cleaners, grips, slings, and much, much more. Save money on products you want from the companies you love. New deals, discounts, and rebates added daily. Gun Dealio, available for free in the App Store and Google Play.
When the U.S. military's elite units and law enforcement agencies across the globe demanded innovation and reliability, they didn't settle. They chose Sig Sauer. When world champion professional shooters demanded precision accuracy, they didn't settle. They chose Sig Sauer. So it's no surprise more and more civilian gun owners are refusing to settle for anything less. They're choosing Sig Sauer firearms, ammunition, electro-optics, suppressors, air guns, and training. Sig Sauer. Never settle.
Hey, welcome back. Tom Gresham here. Yes, we are at Gunsite, but I'm not just kind of wandering around here. I actually am here. We're visiting with Ken Campbell, Director of Operations and Chief Operating Officer. I'm actually signed up for the class. I told you I love to come back, and it's been 2 years, and that's too long.
It is. Yeah, I don't know how you slipped through the cracks and got that application submitted.
I used somebody else's name on it. It was easy. I just pretend I'm somebody else. All right, so I'm taking the close quarters pistol class. What is that?
Well, once you get through the 250 pistol class with us, that's the foundation. Okay. So we know you're solid in gun handling and marksmanship and the right mindset. Then we can let you into the more advanced classes. Close quarters pistol is where it's probably going to happen to you on the street. It's not going to be 50 yards away. That bad guy's going to approach you at the ATM, in the parking lot.
We're at bad breath distance
That's
now.
exactly where we are. So in this case, you've got to be able to control the situation, break contact, and if need be, go to guns. And that's what this class is about. It's not all just pistols. There's some other defensive tactics in there as well. And you'll come away. By the way, you did bring your ibuprofen, right?
Oh, Lord.
Vitamin I.
Vitamin I. All right, so later on today on the show, we're going to have Steve Tarani on here. So he's not here right now. Tell me about Steve.
Steve is a tremendous instructor. He's been with us. I've known him since the early 90s out here when we both taught together. He went and lived in the various cultures in Indonesia and so on. And as he says, he sat on the dirt floor with the masters and ate rice out of the bowls and learned the defensive tactics, the edged weapons, the karambit, and so on from them, and then has taken other courses over the years, and he's a tremendous instructor. He has taught various branches of the military, DEA,
other three-letter agencies.
Has worked as a full-time, real-deal guy with those other agencies,
right.
Deployed.
So I will tell you that I remember years ago when I first heard Steve's name. It was here at Gunsite. And one of your instructors here, and your instructors they're been there, done that. People,
yes, sir.
I mean, and it was the first time I'd ever seen one of them. Their eyes open up like, "Well, that's a scary dude." Tarani's just a scary dude.
He is,
and he's just the nicest guy in the world.
He is just nice, polite. He can put his suit on and does his presentations before corporate businessmen.
Right.
But when push comes to shove, I'd like about 300 yards and a big bore rifle.
Even if he's just got a knife, right?
Yes.
He's that good.
He'll do his demonstration and he'll say, "Well, that was half speed." And you're like, "Well, did I blink and miss it?" But he's very smooth, and I'll tell you how much I think of him. He's done tutorials for my wife and my two sons.
Wow!
We were going to the UK.
That's as strong a personal endorsement as you can get.
I cannot. I had him train the most precious people in my life. We were getting ready to go to England, Ireland, Scotland, and Wales. Of course, you can't even have an evil lock blade knife there.
Right.
So we wanted some training in some knives and in walking stick, and because you can have those.
Okay.
And we did it in our garage, and things went well, but I can't give you a higher endorsement than that.
That's amazing. Well, I'm really looking forward to it. For those who don't know, describe the 250 class, because people say, I've been shooting all my life, right? How many times have you heard, I've been shooting all my life. I want to start with the more advanced classes. And that just doesn't happen, and then they figure out why.
Well, let me go back to a late friend of mine, Louis Auerbach, one of the top 5 in the world, according to Jeff Cooper. I was standing next to Louis one day, and a gent came up and said, "I really want the high-speed advanced class."
Right.
And Louis took his sunglasses off and said, "Just what exactly is an advanced gunfight?" And he wasn't being smart. He was being philosophical.
Right.
It's the basics under more and more stress. Mm-hmm. Well, here at Gunsite, when I first came, I'd been a cop about 10 or 11 years. I was a firearms instructor. I'd been to some other schools, and I said, I need the intermediate pistol. And Jeff Cooper said, "No, you're in 250," and pretty much hung up. But that's the way he was.
Sure.
So I came out here and took 250, and he was right. The modern technique that we teach builds upon itself. It's a stair-step approach. Mm-hmm. So how we teach you to load and unload the gun, and people look at us like, "I've been loading my gun for 30 years. Mm-hmm. Yes, you have, but the method we use is the same. The same steps we use is to clear most malfunctions. So the less
do it this way today, because tomorrow you're going to figure out that this skill you learned today is going to be useful for the things we're teaching tomorrow.
Absolutely. So we've got to have that good, solid foundation. That's also where we introduce the critical part, the mindset. My Colt Gunsite 1911 here on my hip is not the primary answer. The primary answer, like Steinbeck said, is the brain, the mind.
Okay.
And that we cover that on Wednesday morning with an extensive lecture and PowerPoint, and we get into how critical your mindset is on avoiding. If I can recognize something, trust that sixth sense, that women's intuition, and simply cross the street, that's an A+ win.
Oh, yeah.
Because I've avoided it. I don't have to, even though I can think, well, I'm a Gunsite grad, I can handle this. You probably can, but let's go over there instead.
Yeah, don't issue your own invitation to a gunfight.
Yes, absolutely. If the situation says you have to, so be it, and you're mentally prepared for that as well. You've gone through your color codes. So the 250 is a basic class, but basic by our terms is advanced to many other terms.
And you quite literally could come here never having shot a pistol before.
Oh, that's the best student in the world. They come here with, I just got this, and they've got an item in a box.
Right.
Well, they don't. If you want to teach me how to fly that airplane of yours, do you want me to have preconceived notions, or would you rather have a clean slate?
Sure. The clean slate always best. That way you can put in what you want. You don't have to spend time getting rid of the junk that's in there.
Absolutely. If you ever watch NCIS, sometimes we got to slap the guy in the back of the head a little bit.
Yeah.
It says, no, don't do it that way. And and we don't just tell you to do it.
Right.
We tell you why.
Yeah,
and show you.
And it makes sense. When it starts making sense, then you will actually include it, incorporate it into you. Okay. All right. So, Ken, we're going to be talking more about Gunsite as we go through the day today. Basically, for people that want more information, gunsite.com?
Gunsite.com. The website's very comprehensive. Navigate your way around it. Then if you've got questions, the contact list is on there.
If you go down to the contact us, it's Gunsite. If you go down to the contact area, you can put that in there, put your name in, and they're going to send you a calendar.
That's correct.
That's really cool.
And the calendar's our catalog also.
It's a catalog, and it's really cool, and it's got some neat pictures, and you want it. Gunsite.com. All right. Thank you, Ken. I appreciate it. Always a pleasure.
Thanks,
Tell you
Tom.
what, don't go far, because when we come back, we're going to have more from Gunsite. We're going to talk about women training, women taking care of themselves. 866-TALK-GUN.
Good morning, Mr. Gresham. Your mission, should you decide to accept it, is to host a radio show that will bring truth and common sense to the discussion of firearms rights in this country. Good luck, Tom, to you and your Tom Gresham's Gun Talk team.
Oh, man, a lot of news going on. I'll tell you what, let's see, out of Illinois, the Illinois Circuit Judge has ruled that the FOID card, the Firearms Owner's Identification Card, is unconstitutional. Very interesting. Looks like the Attorney General says he is going to appeal this to the Illinois Supreme Court. We also have a big case out of California where a judge has ruled that California's ban on standard capacity magazines, anything over 10 rounds, is unconstitutional. It violates the Second Amendment, and with really strong wording. It's a very strong decision, in no uncertain terms, just says, a ban on standard capacity magazines is a ban on arms. He says magazines are arms. They're covered under the Second Amendment. They're in common use, so according to Heller, you cannot ban them. We'll see what happens. I fully expect that to be appealed to the three-judge panel on the Ninth Circuit, then probably to an en banc panel on the Ninth Circuit, and then possibly even to the Supreme Court. We'll see what happens. But we'll be talking about that a little bit later in the show, some interesting stuff going on there as well. This is a remote broadcast. We are out in Arizona, way out in Arizona, actually, north of Prescott in Paulden, Arizona, at Gunsite. Kind of the grandfather, if you will, of gunfighting schools. People say it's a shooting school. Well, it's kind of a shooting school, but really it's a gunfighting school. Joining me right now is Jane Ann Shimizu, a good friend of ours. You've been on the show so many times, Jane Ann, you could be a co-host at this point.
I love being on your show, Tom. It's great.
All right, so Gunsite, fair enough to call it, it's a gunfighting school.
We are a gunfighting school.
Okay. Make no bones about it.
Make no bones about it. We're going to teach you how to fight, whether you've got your gun, whether you've got your knife, your fist.
So you're a fighting school, and a gun is one of the things you might use.
Hopefully that's your last resort, but yes, we're a fighting school.
Okay. So how did you personally discover Gunsite?
Oh, my. Oh, I had a boyfriend at the time. He said, I want to send you to gun school for your vacation. And I said, I only get 2 weeks vacation a year. I want to go to Hawaii. And he said, okay, here's the deal. If you take this class at Gunsite, I'll take you to Hawaii.
Okay.
Graduation, day 5 at 250 pistol class. I said, I don't want to go to Hawaii anymore, sweetheart. I want to take my next class at Gunsite. And my next one, and I became a very expensive girlfriend.
Oh, my. Good. Well, okay, so you actually started coming here as a client.
As a client back in 1994 was my first year.
And now you are head of marketing, as well as you teach the classes here.
Well, I help teach the classes here. I do not have the skills that our Gunsite instructors have, but I'm a really good safety officer.
Okay.
I head the Well-Armed Women chapter of Gunsite, which is extremely popular.
When you were telling me about that yesterday, you were really excited. You are really ginned up on this Well-Armed Woman program.
I am, because it is reaching out to women who wouldn't normally call me. It is reaching out to women who are afraid of guns. The last class we started, we get them in groups of 10. We call them newbies.
Right.
I had 3 women in there who had never touched a gun. They didn't own a gun. I got them all rigged up, and they were afraid. They were scared. And 3 weeks
now, when you say
later,
rigged up, you've got them wearing a belt and a holster, and they're drawing a gun and shooting a gun.
you're drawing from the holster. At Gunsite, regardless of your experience, you are going to draw from the holster, because a holstered pistol is a safe pistol.
Right. You lay it on the table, you don't know what's going on. You're not fully in control of it. When it's in a holster on your side, for one thing, it's pointed in a safe direction.
Yes.
And also the trigger guard is covered, so nobody can stick a finger in the trigger guard and pull the trigger.
Yes.
So a holstered gun is a safe gun. So you start them out with that. Question for you. Why does a woman who has never touched a gun before decide to get involved with the Well-Armed Woman program?
Peer pressure is one thing.
Okay.
One woman says to another woman, I did the coolest thing last week. I went out and I shot a gun. Oh, that's scary. Oh, but maybe I want to do that. All my friends are doing it. That is really what's happening. Their friends are doing it, so they want to do it. They're scared to death. The first shot that they take, they're shaking.
Yeah.
You can literally see them shaking. But then the next shot and the next shot, and the next time they come, they're not as frightened anymore. And before you know it, I've got a pistolero in the class.
Of course, you've been helping teach women to shoot for a long time out here. I'm just thinking about how different is it, or how important is it, if you will, for a woman who's getting started to be in an all-women's class as opposed to a mixed class? I mean, and I can argue it both ways. I think I can see it, but I'm just wondering, what do you see?
Well, personally, I would rather be in a mixed class.
Okay.
Because I feel equal to any man on the line with me, and I can do anything. But many women have issues. They've had problems in their past. They've had an abusive spouse. They've had a stalker. They have a reason not to trust men and not to be on the line with men.
Okay.
However, most of my instructors are guys, and the ladies fall in love with them because they are such good instructors, and they're so patient and so kind they overcome their fear of men along with their confidence level.
Okay. So where do you go with the Well-Armed Woman program? What's the goal of this whole thing?
Well, when we first started, I was going to cap it at 16 because that's how many we can get on a line at one time. But our girls, 18 months ago, they started with us. After 18 months, they have learned every skill in the 250 pistol class, and we are beginning 350 skills with them. So they are so advanced, I started an intermediate group. And now I've got them into the advanced group, so now I have another beginner group. And it is just so inspiring to teach women from scratch. And their husbands are in Rotary with me, and they come up to me in Rotary and they say, my wife's going to come, but she won't come twice, I can guarantee you. I've won $40 so far because I say she will come back. I guarantee you she's going to have so much fun, she'll come back.
Oh, okay. All right, we're going to take a quick break here. We're talking with Jane Ann Shimizu from Gunsite. Check it out, GUNSITE.com. If you have a question about Gunsite or about just concealed carry, training, certainly the Well-Armed Woman program, by all means give us a holler. We'll get you in here. The number is 866-TALK-GUN. I'm Tom Gresham.
The next big thing for the AR-15 has arrived. The Brownells BRN 180 Upper, a modernized version of the Armalite AR-180, featuring a 16-inch barrel, a 223 wild chamber, and a full-length pick rail. The BRN 180 skips the buffer system to allow complete function of the firearm with the stock folded or extended. Best of all, the Brownells BRN 180 mounts to any mil-spec AR lower. Visit Brownells.com today.
You got your carry permit, and that's good. But you know you could use more training. Get the DVDs, which have what you need. Springfield Armory presents Concealed Carry 1 and Concealed Carry 2 with Bata Group. Learn specific concealed carry skills from Top Gun fighting trainers. Get trained. Be prepared. This really is life and death. ShopGunTalk.com. That's ShopGunTalk.com.
Perhaps more than any other landscape, wetlands embody the life-giving abundance that nature has to offer. And perhaps more than any other organization, Ducks Unlimited is working to ensure that our continent's wetlands not only survive, but thrive for generations well beyond this one. The time is now to band together. The time is now to rescue our wetlands.
It's kind of funny. We're sitting here at Gunsite. We're actually, Jane Ann and I are sitting in the pro shop because they're not open today, which is good. There are no classes today, right?
No classes.
Actually, there's some tutorials going on, though.
Yes.
Because you can actually sign up for a tutorial either individually or with the two of you or your family members or whatever, and come in and you say, I want to work on long-range shooting. I want to work on this, and get one of these great instructors to work with you for a day or two.
We have an 18-person tutorial starting on Thursday, working over the weekend.
That's a corporate deal, isn't it?
That's a corporate deal.
That's pretty cool for a corporation to come in and say, we're going to take our team leaders and come in and do a class.
It could be Big O Tire. It could be Discount Tire. Bob Parsons from GoDaddy, when he owned GoDaddy, he came out here and did lots of tutorials.
Oh, yeah, I saw him out here several times.
Yeah.
That's really interesting. So one of the things I was going to mention is that if you wanted to come out here, you could actually just come out here with just your clothes and nothing else, and you could get everything you need: belts, holsters, guns, magazines. You can rent guns, right? You got your choice. If you want to rent a 1911, you could rent a Glock. You could whatever you want to rent,
Yep,
right?
we have it all.
Okay, you got it all. You got the gear. You can even pick up your desert shooting clothes out here if you want to.
Oh, yeah. We've got 511 gear. We've got everything. You name it.
And Gunsite branded pistols.
Gunsite branded pistols. Colt pistols.
Mm-hmm.
Someone else is making a pistol for us.
Les Baer.
Les Baer is making a Gunsite pistol now.
Yep.
So they are on a special order process. But, yes, Les Baer is making a Gunsite pistol. They are too Jeff Cooper's specs.
Right. Many, many years ago, I remember you telling me that sometimes you open carry, which is legal in Arizona, and you get interesting comments about a woman, and you are not tall.
No.
How did I do with that one? You're not tall.
No, I'm not tall.
You're not. And you're carrying a full-size 1911 pistol out for the world to see.
I love it. People, especially tourists, Prescott is a huge tourist town.
Right.
And people will say, oh, my God, look what she's doing. And I'm on the courthouse square.
Right.
And I'm carrying open, and they're asking me questions. Can you do that? Are you a police officer?
Right. They always want to know, are you a police officer?
Yep.
First thing.
I'm just a girl carrying a gun.
No, I'm a citizen.
Yep.
You know, and
It's my right.
Yeah, I can do that. Now you've gone. All right, we went out shooting this morning before the show.
Yes, we did.
We ran down to the range because you had a new pistol, and you had the new Glock 43X.
Yes.
Right, which is the 43 with a larger grip, so it's a 10+1. And you had not shot the SIG P365, which I had. So we were shooting and switching back and forth. They're very similar, but in some ways they're different. And a lot of the difference is just kind of how it fits your hand. So what was your opinion, your kind of impression of both of them?
Well, I still want a P365. I loved it.
Okay.
It fit my hand. I would have a few alterations to the grip.
There's a kind of a finger grip groove, a bump in there, and you would like to get rid of that.
Yeah, because it's for a bigger finger, and I have little tiny hands.
Okay.
And the Glock 43 X doesn't have that. It's just like a Glock flat Glock.
Right.
But I shot better with the SIG.
You shot the SIG better
than I did with the Glock. It was interesting to see the difference. The sights are very much the same.
Mm-hmm.
One is orange, one is green.
Right.
But the SIG felt different in my hand.
Mm-hmm.
I can't explain it.
It does feel different. It's a little thinner grip. You mentioned that the reset was longer on the SIG, and that would take some getting used to for you because you are so attuned to working the reset.
Yes, I use reset. I use it unconsciously.
Really?
Because I've used it for 18 years, and I've learned it on a 1911. And a 1911, you love the reset.
Sure.
It's little, it's quick, But
you also had your 1911 9mm.
Mm-hmm.
You've been carrying these days, right?
Because I'm old.
Yes, you're old,
Yes.
right?
I'm getting older. It's harder for me to handle a full-size weapon now.
Okay.
Because of shoulder injuries, whatever. And I've gone to a 1911 9mm, which
Well, it slides easy to rack.
slides very easy to lock open,
Yeah.
show clear.
Right.
Anything I need to do, the manipulations of this 9mm are the same as the 45 I shot for 15 years.
And we know now from all the statistics that the 9 works just as well as a 45. But same old deal. You got to put them in the right place.
Yep.
And frankly, with the 9, you have a few more rounds.
Yeah. Are you going to stop them? Oh, yeah, you're going to stop them.
Yeah, and that's one of the things that, frankly, I like about the SIG. It's a 12+1, and the Glock is a 10+1. Is that going to be important? Probably not, but if it is, it's going to be really important.
Yes. So you learn how to do
reloads.
Yeah.
And you always
reloads.
carry mags.
Always.
I'm always amazed at people who say, I carry a pistol and I don't carry extra mags. So I don't know why people don't carry extra mags.
I even carry extra speed loaders with my revolvers.
Do you?
Yeah.
And you like revolvers too.
I like my revolver. I do. I can put snake shot in that revolver, and it doesn't break because it's not cycling. And so you put the snake shot in there, close it up. You don't have to worry about it breaking.
Yeah, because snake shot in semi-auto, not so much. No. Okay. All right. So what's going on? You got some women's classes coming up?
We've got a ladies' class in May that is almost full. It's got 3 slots left in it. And then we put one in August 12 through 14, because teachers called us and said, I want to take your ladies' class, but they're always in May and October, and I'm in school. So we put one in August for teachers. We have a lot of teachers learning how to arm themselves in the hope that they will be able to be armed teachers.
Anticipating the laws changing in whichever state they're in. Because that's the other thing. I need to explain to people. People come here not just from all over Arizona, not even just from all over the United States, literally from all over the world.
Yes,
people
all
come
over
here
the world
to train.
You have to have special exceptions to come here from all over the world.
If you're not a U.S. citizen, there's a different deal, and you've got to
contact us, and we will. We have countries that we cannot cater to, and under the ITAR rules.
Oh, interesting.
But in many countries we can. You can't come here from a terrorist country.
Okay. Tell you what, we've got Butch on the line here. He's in Texas. He's got a question about Gunsite. Hey, Butch, you with us?
Yes, sir. Thank you for taking my call. A question partially just answered by the young lady with you today. My wife and I are both in our early 70s. I shoot fairly regular, but my wife has really bad arthritis in her hands. So I've tried every semi-auto I could find for her, but she just cannot rack it.
Tell you what, Butch, hold on a second here. That's a question that I know we want to talk about, because actually Jane and I were talking about that very same thing this morning when we were shooting. So, Butch, hold on. I got to run to a quick break here, commercial break. We'll come back. Let's talk about this issue of older hands, arthritis. What can I operate? What can I do? Jane Ann, that'll work for you?
Yeah, that works for me.
Okay, we'll do that. 866-TALK-GUN. I'm Tom Gresham. When we come back, older, weaker hands, what's a good gun for you? We'll talk about it. All right, back with you. We're talking with Butch in Texas. And Butch, you said your wife has trouble working a gun. She has arthritis in her hands. Did I get that right?
Yes, sir. So what I tried to get her to do, and I think the young lady partially answered, was she's comfortable with a Smith bodyguard. It does not it does not handle plus P. But
that's okay.
My question was, number one, how she felt about that, and number two, as far as the class coming up in August, is that just going to be for women, or is that is there a mixed class at the same time so I could go also, or?
Oh, so you could take a class at the same time, but maybe not in her class, Jane Ann.
That is just a ladies' class in August. However, we do have a 3-day pistol in July, 1 through 3, and that is a mixed class.
Okay.
I personally would say take the 250 pistol class. It's 5 days. And in the 4th and 5th day of the 250 class, you go into indoor and outdoor simulators. Jeff Cooper believed whatever you learned on a square range, you would remember in practical life if you did it in a simulator.
And a simulator is you're going through rooms and you're encountering targets and threats and that kind of a thing.
Yeah, live fire houses. So the 250 class gives you 5 days of training and 2 days of simulators. But if you can't spend 5 days here, then the 150 pistol class is July 1 through 3, and you can be in it too.
But let me circle back for just a second, because we were talking about this whole deal, arthritis, and it's a real thing. It's not to be made light of. Smith & Wesson actually brought out a pistol almost designed specifically for that. It's called the M&P EZ. And it's bigger than a bodyguard, but it's still a 380. And the recoil spring is very light. It's very easy to work. You can actually work the slide stop on it quite well. It might be something to consider if she has any trouble with that bodyguard, because the bodyguard's a little bit smaller.
It is smaller, and I'm well aware of the fact that a double tap with a 380 is just as effective as anything else, but I would have a little more faith in the 38 for her. But the other thing...
I will tell you, let me jump in, because there's no difference now. The 38 Special and the 380, it's exactly the same. When you shoot them into ballistic gelatin, you're going to get the same kind of penetration. The 380 ammo is so much better than it used to be. So I just didn't want you to think the 3080 is more powerful than the 380. It's not.
I was just talking about... Okay, I'll shut up. I take your word for it.
And, it's really all in the training. And if she gets used to shooting the bodyguard, or if she gets used to shooting the easy slide, if she has repetitious training over and over and over, which she will get in a Gunsite class, she's going to walk away from here with confidence. She's going to know how to lock that slide back. She's going to know how to manipulate it, because we know how to teach her.
Okay,
besides, you know what? You guys would have so much fun.
If you can convince her to try it, I think she'll probably listen to you maybe more than me.
Give her my phone number.
That's right. Tell her to call Gunsite. Go to the website. What's the phone number for Gunsite?
928-636-4565. And I'm at extension 20. But you can go online to our website on the main website page. Go down below, contact us, and send me an email, and I'll send you a catalog and a calendar.
Cool. There you go. Jane Ann, 928-636-4565 will get you in, or just go to gunsite.com. Do that. Thank you so much. I appreciate the call, Butch, and good luck with that. I applaud you guys for taking charge of your own security. Jane Ann, thank you. We'll get you back on here, okay?
Thank you, Tom. It was nice to be here.
Always a pleasure, and well done with the Well-Armed Women program.
Thank you.
That is terrific. Okay. All right, when we come back, we're going to have more news for you, new guns, and, of course, new laws and things going on out there. Our number, 866-TALK-GUN. That'll get you in here. I'm Tom Gresham. This is Gun Talk.